What is up, everyone? Back with another Trader Aggression Talk. For the few of you guys who watched the last one, I just want to say thank you, number one. And I aim to make these talks like as real as possible. This one is just like basically like the mindset that, I had while I was working my 9 to 5. But before I go into like the overall mindset, I'll give you guys a little bit of the story. So over the summer, over like a lot of summers, I've been working at Amazon. And while at Amazon, it was like 40, 60-hour weeks sometimes, and working night shift. I'm not a manager or anything like that, just a regular employee. So I'm regular, what they call it, white badge, seasonal associate. So you can imagine the labor. If you ever worked like, traditional warehouse job, Amazon isn't the worst. Even though Amazon is bad, it's not the worst warehouse job. Like, I've heard of like worse warehouse jobs, worse warehouse conditions. But with Amazon, you're working on the line, you're standing for long periods of time, picking up boxes. I mean, I work out like already, but even me, like, if it gets strenuous over like the 10-hour period, it's good money. It's good money for when you're young, it's good money, but it's strenuous work. It's strenuous work. And especially when you are a trader, you're trying to look at the charts, you're trying to, catch setups, and you're constantly being worked around. You constantly have to move. Man, it puts like a lot of stress on you to still try and perform trading as well, especially when your mind literally isn't there. Your mind's a little bit fatigued from just working the whole time. So I generally didn't like, of course, I didn't like working there, especially at first. When I first started, I did not like it at all. But a lot of things changed. I used to walk into work and just be like, I want to, leave like after an hour. I'm like, nah, I'm done with this. I'm tired. I'm stressed. Manager's trying to talk to me, constantly about rate, and I'm over here like, I'm about ready to leave at certain points too. I've worked on every position. I've been in pack. If you work at Amazon, you know what pack is. Basically just packing boxes. I've done pick, which is like picking items out of, certain things. I've worked in trucks, all these things, and still trading too. So number one is, while I was working, a big thing that I wish I kind of did different, especially first starting out, was not really trying to day trade and also work my job. I talk about this a lot now with swing trading, and you guys might be like, why are you so heavy on swing trading? It's because for me personally, while I was day trading, I was blowing up a lot of the money, not because of the day trading strategy, but more because of the stress that I had. Imagine you're working the whole day, then you're coming home, your body's fatigued and tired, you're trying to stay on the charts and still be alert. The thing is, you can sit on the charts, but can you sit on the charts and still be alert, make the right decisions, keep your emotions and discipline the right way? Because trading is a whole nother game, and trading doesn't really care how you feel. It doesn't care that you just came back from a 12-hour shift. You still have to make the right decisions, and if you make the wrong decisions, one slip up can mess up everything. So with day trading, and especially like the way I used to trade on the 5-minute time frame, on the 15-minute time frame, I didn't have the self-regulation, the emotional control, which leads to losing money very easily. Over trading, over risking, making dumb mistakes, all due to tiredness. So that's why I emphasize swing trading. But that's just the system. My bad, guys, I have to sneeze. If you're you're watching this, wish me bless you. But that's just one part of it. But the actual mindset, right? When we get into the actual mindset, number one, when you switch from day trading to swing trading, your mindset changes from short term to long term. Because personally, when I switched, right, I stopped focusing on just trying to flip money quick. I started focusing on, okay, let me build money. Let me stack money up. Let me manage money. Let me learn how money kind of flows. Let me sit with the flow of money. And that was just a mindset shift that started in the mind, though. It was a seed that got planted inside of my mind that then led me to change everything inside of my strategy, my system to swing trading. So my mindset, when it comes to my mindset, the thing that changed, I'm 6 minutes in. I haven't talked about what I said yet. Well, sorry, I didn't give you guys the picture. The thing that changed when it came to my mindset was a more long-term thinking and an abundance mind. So a lot of times where we come from, the situations that we have, the things that we go through, we tend to have a limiting belief mindset about the possibilities of what we can do, of the money that we can make. We think that money is a very scarce resource. We think that it is impossible. I realized this and I said, nah, I can't do this. I have to switch my mindset to realize that money is literally all around me. There are people the same age as me making 10 times more than me right now. Is it that they're smarter than me? No. Is it that they are, had more opportunity? That's a mindset you can think. But is it really because of that, or is it because they have a different mindset, a different perspective that allows money to come to them more easier? I think it's exactly like that. And once I started to have that abundance mindset, that made me actually cherish my job more, because I saw it less as just a chore, but more as a tool to be able to build capital. And that was one of the mindset shifts. That was like the first, the abundance mind was the first, big mindset shift that I had. The other one was, building money long term, managing money. I'm thinking right now because it was like so many at once, and each one just compounded on themselves. Once I focused on managing, not flipping, thinking about money in terms of 10 years, not just today, tomorrow, the next day, but like 10 years. Thinking about things, I said this in my last video, but thinking about things in terms of 10 years, not 1 year, not 2 years, but how would things look like down the line if I keep showing up every single day? That compound growth, that's how money operates inside the first place. It's compounding. Once I realized these rules around money, it made more sense to why I was losing so much. It's like, oh, money's a compounding game. It's not a just stack, or not just get, spend type of game. It's about leverage. It's about keeping on going. So that was the next. And you might be asking, if we go into this, deeper, the thing that I had to do to achieve these mindsets was, we're gonna get into, I told you guys like the mindset shift that I had. Now I'm gonna share with you guys how I achieved the mindset shift. What did I do differently? Because Einstein once said that doing the same thing and expecting different results is literally called insanity. So I was running myself insane by trying to physically change different things, trying to change things inside of my strategy and all that, but then circling back and getting the same results. So it wasn't until I'm a Christian, I believe in God. It wasn't until I went to God and I prayed to him. I said that, what am I doing wrong? What can I change? Why am I making the same mistakes still? Why genuinely am I, failing? I used to pray so much. I used to be like, why am I failing? Just show me. And then one time I was on the verge of quitting, and I just prayed to him, and I said, if this is like the last time that, you want me to, trade and invest, then I'll just leave it here. I won't do this anymore. And right now I can smile back at it, but back then I was like, really? Because I had put everything into this and I really just wanted it to work. And back then it was like just me, But he showed me that what I had to do, he brought me back to my childhood. The thoughts that I started to have back then was childhood. I remembered that at childhood, we are taught how to see things. We are taught how to see the world. When you are a child, your subconscious, your brain, your mind, it's an infant, it's malleable. When you teach a child something, or like a new language, or, how to learn a skill, that child will pick up that skill very fast. And a lot of times they'll keep it for the rest of their lives. You teach a child a language like we learned English, the child is not going to forget that for the rest of his life because it's in his subconscious mind. Once you plant an idea or a belief or a mindset inside of the subconscious, has no other way but to rerun that same belief. And once God showed me that my belief was the problem, and the one way that I can change this is by creating new beliefs. It's by affirming myself of these new beliefs. And that's exactly what I did. I simply affirmed it. I affirmed it within myself. I visualized and I affirmed. I visualized and I affirmed. I told myself, and when I affirmed, I've been doing affirmations for a long time. I've always been affirming. People will tell me, people will say, oh, you don't have this, you don't have that. And I will literally say that I have it. But the key difference that changed everything was that when affirming, I believed. And when I believed, I had faith inside of what I was actually affirming. I just didn't say it like when I'm talking about money or being a good trader or even just all around abundance. Like, I have abundance. I am abundant. There's abundance all around me. I would say these things to myself, but when I would say them either in the morning before I went to sleep, instead of just saying them and not, you really just saying them out loud, I said them with belief. I said them with, internal belief and faith that the thing that I'm saying is true. And once that happened, nobody could take it away from me because, before I used to say, oh yeah, things like I'm confident or, God's put me in this world for, abundance and for me to abundantly create for others and all these other things, but I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't truly believe it deep within me. So once I realized that is what took it to the next, and that's what formed the identity shift, I think, and that's what formed things to change. Because without that, I would have never changed. Without that, I would have been running inside of the same cycle. It's like that for not just this, but a lot of other habits. It's because you have been imprinted to believe the same things about yourself. And I always believe now, I remember that belief equals habit. Belief, once you believe something, you will do that something as a habit. A habit becomes a routine, and it just cycles and cycles and cycles on. And that was the structure or the framework I was in when I was blowing up my account, when I was wasting money trading, when I was not having a long-term mindset. It wasn't until I switched these beliefs, but not just switched them, I believed them. A belief is something that you have to believe for it to make a change in your life, If you don't believe the belief that you're trying to imprint like I was, then nothing's going to happen. You can't just say, God is going to do amazing things for me. God is going to bless me with all these things. God is doing it for me. God is right there by me. And then internally, you don't believe it at all. Like, your faith isn't there. You're just talking with your words, but your words hold no power. So I realized that was the same thing with me. My words didn't have power. And I didn't truly believe in the things that I was saying. So my reality reflected that. It reflected that right back to my face. And it wasn't until I started believing without a doubt. You can have doubt. But when I had that doubt, because doubt creeps in, we're all human. We all doubt things. You might be asking, okay, what if I, doubt? Because we all doubt. The best players in the world, they doubt. Everybody doubts. When I had doubt, I would switch my mind back to the belief that no, I'm not going to let my mind sit inside of fear and doubt, because doubt, I said this the other day, doubt is the real killer. It is the real killer of a habit, of a belief, of a cycle. You'll be going to the gym, or you'll be doing something like what I'm just showing you guys, right? Where you're changing, you're changing your identity. And, you're trying to implement these new beliefs, these new, not rituals, these new habits around money. And then you'll get doubt, and you'll think that, oh, it's not working, it's not happening quick enough. That one doubt, that one thought process will stop you from going into the new place, the new mindset that you were about to have. And literally, it'll place you back to where you used to be. And then you'll lose all of your progress. Doubt and fear is the real killer of a lot of dreams, a lot of belief shifting. We will be doing the right thing, and then we won't see any results for a little bit. We think it's not working. That causes us not to believe. So that's what I did, and that's how my identity started to change. And that literally changed everything, and that's where I started changing things physically, but I realized that it all happened mentally first. All happened spiritually first, number one. It was spiritual, and then it had to go to the mental. God showed me how to change my entire mind, to change my entire process and way of thinking. And before that, it then had to become physical, where I had to change what I was doing. After that, and I had to internally believe that things would change as well. Also, the last thing that I did was visualization. I didn't mention this, but another really good tool is visualizing. It's seeing, The Bible, it talks a lot about visions. I'm a huge, I really like Daniel. Daniel, King Nebuchadnezzar, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And the story with Daniel and King Nebuchadnezzar, where Daniel talked about God revealed when King Nebuchadnezzar, I'm going to get a little bit into the Bible, but basically, King Nebuchadnezzar was this guy, he was this king. He sent a decree out to kill all of the or all of the, what they were called, the people like Daniel, I can't remember their names right now, but he sent a decree to kill out, people who could basically interpret, dreams and all that. And because nobody was able to interpret his dream. But then God revealed it to Daniel during a vision when he laid in the night. So you can see it throughout the Bible that God talks a lot about visions, because visions are really powerful. When you can visualize something that is tangible, your mind is shown studies that the mind cannot tell the difference between a vision and reality at times. That's why when you feel a fear, sometimes it can feel so real. It can feel like that vision that you're seeing is happening inside of real life, because the mind cannot tell the difference. When we're children, we're afraid of the dark. We're seeing all these things in our head about what could be in the dark when there's nothing there at all. But it feels so real. And that's the cure. I want you guys to hear what I'm saying. It feels real. So imagine you have a vision about where you want to be. That's what I did. I had a vision about, okay, this is the person that I want to be. This is the identity I want to be. And these are the new habits I want to have. Not even the things that I want, but the person I want to be. And I felt it. I felt it and I visualized that exact person, that exact habits, the right things to do. And even when I fell out of place, when, doubt would creep up, when I fall out of habit, I fall off of routine, having that vision and then remembering the feeling of, okay, the person I want to be is not making the decisions that I'm making right now. When I visualize the person I want to be, is that person feeling like I'm feeling, making the decisions I'm making, acting like I'm acting? No. So, visualization with belief, seeing it before it actually taking place is very powerful. One guy once said, if you can see it in your head, you can hold it in your hand. And I'll never forget that. That's one of the best sayings that I remember every single day. If you can see it in your head, you can hold it in your hand. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this entire video. About this 21 minutes now. I didn't even expect it to be this long. But I hope you guys enjoyed it on how to, or the mindset shift that I have while working my 9 to 5 when it came to trading. I hope you guys gained just a ton of value, especially if you watched it throughout this whole video, just me talking. But I hope you guys have a good trading week. If you're watching this at any time, have a good rest of your day, good rest of your weeks, and all of that. I'll see you guys later, and yeah.